In Indian Hindu mythology, Garud is depicted as a demigod, a mythical being, half man and half eagle of speed, tremendous strength, and the vehicle of Lord Vishnu. Appropriately, due to its characteristics, Garud is also the name given to the recently raised Special Forces unit of the Indian Air Force. The Himalayan eagle adorns the IAF insignia. Like the Indian Army Commando and the Indian Navy's Marcos, the Garud forms the commando force of the IAF, has a much higher working capacity. The origins of the IAF Commando Force came amid a daring attempt by Pakistan-sponsored and trained terrorist organizations against two major air bases in Jammu and Kashmir in the late 2000s. And eliminating terrorists, the IAF felt the need for a special force to protect its vital and vulnerable assets. The Indian Army would protect selected IAF airfields, especially those located in terror-intensive areas. These units were always moved in rotation. For newly inducted units, repetition of training is required. Therefore, for certain dedicated Air Force tasks, the IAF decided to raise an exclusive commando force. Early in the year 2002, initial plans called for the formation of a special force with 2,000 commandos. The group was named Tiger Force, later renamed Garud Commando. About a year later, in 2003, the Government of India raised a force of 1,080 strong, on the lines of the Army's Para Commandos and the Navy's Marcos, and authorized it for training, but with the additional mandate of the Special Air Force to carry out specific operations. Consequently, the first batch of 100 volunteers from the IAF's No. 1 Airman Training Center at Belgaum, Karnataka, was sent to Gurgaon, Haryana for commando training. Garud Commando was established in Delhi on February 6, 2014, with 62 successfully completing the course curriculum out of the initial 100 volunteers. On October 8, in Delhi, during the Air Force Day celebrations, the Garud Commando was seen publicly for the first time. In the Army and Navy, unlike its counterparts, for Garud Commandos, officers are selected from volunteers from other branches. In Garud Commando, recruitment of airmen is done directly through the Airman Selection Center. Qualified candidates for the force undergo a 52-week basic training course, the longest of all Indian Special Forces, partly because it also includes basic airman training. The initial stage, a 3-month probationary, mainly rigorous physical training, filters promising candidates for the next higher stage. The initial stage, which usually has a high attrition rate, is conducted at the Garud Regimental Training Center at Air Force Station, Chandinagar, District Bagpat, Uttar Pradesh. At a later stage, special operations training is imparted with the help of special groups of the Special Frontier Force, Indian Army, National Security Group, and paramilitary forces. The IAF, however, is on the verge of setting up its own advanced training facility. Those who qualify proceed to complete the initial airborne operations phase at the Parachute Training School in Agra. The rest of the stages consist of other special areas, such as surviving in the jungle and snow, destroying bombs, and more. The Garudaras also train at the Army's counterinsurgency and jungle warfare schools. They have also trained in foreign countries like USA. There are about 1,080 Garud. Garud airmen are, within the rank structure of the IAF, included as airmen. The forces are arranged in 15 flights. A Garud flight, roughly equivalent to a company, of an infantry battalion in the Indian Army. Commanded by an officer of the rank of squadron leader or flight lieutenant. The flights are individually located at various Air Force stations, where they are effectively deployed. specially trained Garud conduct missions anywhere, including behind enemy lines, similar to the Army's Para Commandos and the Navy's Marcos. However, although trained to perform various and high-risk tasks, their role is generally Air Force specific, including security of critical IAF installations in vulnerable border areas. Commandos, displaying their professionalism, bravery and operational skills, have been involved in several high-profile operations. During the Pathankot airbase attack in 2016, the successful rescue of hostages was one such operation, in which the Garud Commandos played a vital role in neutralizing the terrorists and securing the base. Another notable operation was Operation Rahat. During the Uttarakhand floods of 2013, a massive humanitarian aid and disaster relief mission was conducted. Garud Commandos were at the forefront of rescue efforts, airlifting trapped civilians, providing medical aid, and evacuating affected areas amid adverse weather conditions and treacherous terrain. Despite their elite status and specialized training, Garud Commandos face numerous challenges in fulfilling their missions. These include growing security threats, technological advances and asymmetric warfare. That's it for today's video. If you like, give thumbs up, share and subscribe. We'll be back very soon with such interesting videos.